Well, hello everybody. It is a Sunday Live. Daryl, Steven, Simon, back at it with you on another Sunday presentation. Everything mass page, everything SEO, everything GMBs, lead gen. Boy,
Everything.
we can cover a whole lot of topics, can't we, guys?
Absolutely.
Can go anywhere. Who knows? Yeah, absolutely. We're interactive, so whatever people want to bring up, we'll talk about it. So it's all good.
And if you need a photographer that does weddings and parties and everything else, that guy below me, Simon, just came back from a 10-hour what?
Yeah, 10-hour wedding. Yeah, about sort of 50 miles away. So yeah, I've been pretty busy. Wow. Not just today doing that. The weather was nice, to be fair. So it's been a good day from that point of view. And there were great people to work with, and they had some sports cars, and we had those out front of the house. We took pictures of those and stuff. So that was great. And I've been busy on a few other projects this week as well, including moving my courses onto a new platform and working on directory and stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty busy, but it's all good. Yeah. How about you guys?
I'm doing well. Let's see, this week it was a very busy week. We have temperatures in the 90s today here, in 90s Fahrenheit. And so all over the country, it's pretty hot here in the U.S. And so people are just trying to stay cool and, get some things done. Today, I'm going to try to talk about some of my tips of finding domains that you can hand register so that you don't have to pay a whole lot for them. So I'm going to give you some of my power tips, and I'm going to give you a couple of files that you can use on how to find some really cool domains. So I'm going to give you some of my my little tips and tricks, whether you're looking to get them for a PBN, or if you're willing, interested in just holding them as an investment, which is what I do, is I hold them for other projects or investments for the future. And so I'll talk a little bit about that today. How about you, Stephen? What are you thinking?
Well, it's been a busy few weeks for me. A few things in the pipeline at the moment. One of the fun things is a whole load of done-for-you sites we're putting together. And when we release this, it's going to be a crazy price deal. But also, what we're going to do in advance of releasing it, probably in the next couple of weeks, we're aiming for it, and I'll explain why we're delaying it a little bit. Is we're planning on doing a competition where someone will be able to win 5 done-for-you sites.
Oh, cool!
Worth probably they're worth free. Each one's worth about $3,000 each site. With the content and everything that's being done. So it's going to be, a good value competition, which we're going to run for people at some point in the next few weeks. Okay. But the reason we're holding back a little bit is I was testing Magic Page plugin last week, and it now generates the pages, physical pages, and I managed to break it. So I know that the team are working very hard on getting this fixed. They do know what the issue is, and I know that the programmers are working a way to get this resolved. And it's an issue with an update on Elementor. So that's why we're delaying a little bit with the ultimate launch of the done-for-you sites, because we're just holding back a little bit. The cool thing with the done-for-you sites is that all the standard boxes we're adding, where you change the name, address, phone number, your web form, social media, stuff like that, it's all going to work with Daryl's Magic Form. So anyone who's got the Magic Form, you'll be able to fill in those boxes, export just those boxes and pull them in, and it changes all the data on the site for you. So super cool things coming up, but we're gonna hold back for a little bit longer while we wait for Magic Page to catch up. But I'm going to talk tonight about SEO on the Magic Page plugin. And I want to just show some people some tips and tricks that I do with it, on how to do it once, rinse and repeat, pretty much, across all your pages. So it's that's what I'll be talking about later on.
Cool.
You're muted, Daryl.
Daryl's muted. I was going to say, whilst Daryl's sorting his mic out, I'm going to have a chat about domain structure and the different options you have for implementing Magic Page, particularly in relation to SEO, whether you use it sort of within the site as a subdomain, as a subdirectory, combinations of those. So we'll get into a little bit of that on the pros and cons of each approach and how it affects your SEO. So that's my bit for tonight.
Awesome. I think I'm unmuted now, right?
You
Yeah,
are.
we got you now. Yeah, we got you back.
Awesome.
You
You
haven't
don't want
been
another
quite.
where's Daryl? You know.
Yeah,
Back
let's
now,
not play
yeah.
that game again, boy. So, all
I,
right.
I
So,
I would have to start doing sign language, and I don't know any. So
yeah. Well, all right. So we're waiting for a few more people to join us. Is there any thoughts going into today's session that you guys have on your mind before we get started with, I think, Simon's turn?
we'll just say hello to a few people. I know Don's on, and I know Tim's on, and Robert's watching already. Robert wants to win. I have to say, right, because I've gone into partnership with Robert, and Robert's doing an amazing job helping me with these done for you sites. So he's already a winner in my eyes. That's why I say.
There's Divin there. Yeah.
Hello, Divin.
He's a guy I know. Had a chat with him just last week. He's a fellow photographer. So, Divin, I've just been out today doing a 10-hour wedding gig. I got back about half an hour ago. So, we're all ready. I hope you're having a good time.
He's based, I think, if I remember right, he's based in Birmingham.
You know Divin, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
You mentioned that.
Yeah. So, awesome guy. If you live in the UK and you're watching this and you want someone over towards Birmingham way, he's the guy. If you said, oh, yes. And of course, then you can also contact Simon. Simon knows lots of photographers, don't you, Simon? So
yeah, know quite a few. Yeah, photographers, drone pilots, all sorts of people. Yeah,
yeah.
Great.
Awesome. So Simon, if you want to take it away, we'll each go through our little sessions,
happy to
and then
do
we'll
that.
move on with the next level. So
let me just get my screen together here. Hold on. Cool. So this is about domain structures in relation to Magic Page plugin, particularly from an SEO perspective. Now, I hope I'm not going to get myself out of my depth on this one because I'm not a technical person. I come from this from an SEO and a user perspective. Daryl and Steve may have some perspectives on things, but it's really just a question on what's the best way for people to implement Magic Page plugin on your domain. And that some people might be familiar with this. Maybe it's new for some other people, but I just wanted to highlight some options that you have because clearly the standards approach is to implement the plugin on your main WordPress website. It obviously generates the magic page, and you update that, and that creates however many pages you've set or locations or whatever. And that's a fairly standard approach. But you have also other options where if you wanted not disrupt your existing WordPress setup, you could actually create a subdirectory folder within your hosts. You go into File Manager and add a new folder under where your WordPress site is already hosted, and then you effectively put in a second WordPress site. So you have your main site, and then you have one in a subfolder beneath, and that gives you another option to deploy a WordPress Magic Page plugin site there. And I'll talk about why you might want to do that in a second. I'll just cover the options. And then a subdomain, which you guys will probably know, if you want to have your main domain, yourdomain.com, you can obviously add a subdomain before. So you could have a country or a certain genre, like carpet cleaner or electrician or something, before as a subdomain, or you could use a combination of this. So most people implement it as the page at the top, but there's different options. Now I've put together a few diagrams to hopefully make it easier to understand. This might not help you at all, but that's what it looks like. So if you have yourdomain.com, you have the slug, which is the slug you define in Magic Page plugin, which is obviously customizable. I wouldn't call it slug. I would call it something like locations or near me or something like that, areas, regions, whatever. And then you have your Magic Page. Again, I wouldn't call the Magic Page Magic Page, I would call it something else. So that's your standard setup, or you have it as a subdirectory, so you put it in a site in a folder beneath, or you have it as a subdomain. So they're the different options. Now, what are the different the pros and cons for each approach? So if you own your own site, so it's your own website, maybe it's a lead gen site, could be your own website. If you've just put it in as a page implementation, that's great because you control everything. You're not working with a client. They're not going to switch off your plugin, delete it, or do anything sort of crazy. You use the main design that you've already put in, headers and footers, everything's all there. and that's great. And it's pretty simple. The only thing is, if you could have a conflict, you could have Magic Page conflicting with another plugin. You may not be using Elementor. You might not want to use Elementor on your main site. You might want to have it elsewhere. There's different approach there. And if you have a client, they might also change things that damage your site. And if you're working with a client and you put Magic Page on their main website and there's a problem, it can be hard for you to diagnose the cause of the problem. And if you're working with a client, it's probably going to be you're going to get the blame rather than somebody else. So that's a pro and a con. It's certainly the most straightforward approach. What I quite like is a subdirectory. So the nice thing about this from an SEO perspective is if you add it as a folder underneath your main WordPress website and add another WordPress website, Google effectively sees it as all under one domain. So although they're two websites in practical terms, it's all within the same domain authority. There's obviously benefits from an SEO perspective interlinking, and that works very well. The downside is you need a separate design because it's a new site, so you can copy that over from the main site, or you can invent a landing page format. Nice if you're working with a client to do it that way. That's a good, and then you can also have your own password and keep it separate and not get the blame if anything goes wrong on the main site, or you can have it as a subdomain. Now, subdomains are nice because you can stick it in there as a separate site. It's nice and clean. If you wanted to be more aggressive on your SEO because it's not part of the main domain, you could be a little bit more adventurous. And if you had a problem with it, you could obviously delete it or wind it back. If you damage the authority or reputation of your main domain, it's going to be a lot harder to repair that than the damage you might be done to a subdomain. And that's because Google sees subdomains effectively as separate websites. I mean, there is some connection. Google obviously realizes it's a subdomain, but effectively it's seen as a separate website with its own authority. So if you do use a subdomain, you're going to have to build up your own authority, but it's nice and clean and simple. You can be more aggressive on your SEO. And then as final as if you wanted to, you could be more adventurous. You could have mass page on your main website, and if you had subdomains as well. So say you had mass page working on locations or different types of products, used in a different way, maybe affiliate products, and they use the subdomains to cover really big different changes like different countries. Subdomains are a great way to implement different countries, for example. So I'll just use my example. So I'm working on a directory website at the moment for a niche within photography space. Obviously I'm a professional photographer, and I'm going to be using not a WordPress site as my main site, and I've got no options to put mass page in there as a result. But what I'm going to do is have countries as subdomains. So I'm going to have UK, Canada, USA, New Zealand, all the English-speaking countries, and they're going to be subdomains. And I'll build up the mass pages on each of those, and they will provide links and power to the main membership site that's not on WordPress and therefore can't have Magic Page. So look, there's a few pros and cons. I've kind of blasted through that. I'm not a technical a techie, so hopefully I've kind of pitched it at the right level to give you guys some understanding. I don't know, Daryl and Steve, if you concur with my summary there, suggestions, if you have any kind of guidance for the stream on this.
I'll briefly share my screen a minute because I'll explain a little bit more to what Simon was saying. Let me just bring up this here a minute. And so on here, what I've brought up here, Simon was talking about doing subdirectories. And so what you do, you got your main domain name with WordPress installed. And this is a folder on your site with another separate WordPress install. What's cool is you can have multiple of these. So you can have a folder called local, a folder called hello, whatever you want to call them, with separate WordPress installs. Now, I implement this only really if I'm working on a client's website. And what I mean by that is, let's say that you've got a client to come to you, they're a hair salon, for an example, and their domain name is mydomain.com. And they got a site built and they go, I'm happy with my site, I don't want it messed with. Well, if you add Magic Page, there is a small risk if you don't back it up that you'll end up building multiple pages that can cause a problem. So what I do, I install a fresh WordPress install into a separate folder that may be called local or hairdressing, whatever you want to call it, a keyword. And then I do the Magic Page install into that folder. So it's a fresh WordPress install. Now, the bonus of doing it this way, if you're working on a client site and they own the hosting, they manage the domain name, by putting it into a separate folder, it means you're controlling that WordPress install. So if they happen to stop paying you for services and you don't want to have access anymore, you can go in and remove that if you really wanted to. so they no longer have access to that service. But that is really what Simon was implying, that you have WordPress on the main domain name, WordPress installed on a subfolder. Don't use WordPress multi-site. A lot of people are aware of WordPress multi-site. Magic Page plugin that builds multiple pages instantly from one page doesn't work very well in multi-sites. So every time you do a fresh install of WordPress in a subfolder, there's plenty of videos out there to show you how to do that. If you get certain types of hosting, they help you set this up automatically in the control panel. And so I would install a separate WordPress install, and then within that, create your magic page, make the page look similar in every way. And that's really what I would say along the lines of what Simon was talking about with that. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah, I would just add I liked what you said about putting it in a separate installation that you control, not just to turn them off. That's another benefit, but just to keep their hands out of it, because having the client have access to a full magic page or whatever platform you're using, they can set you back a bit by just making some changes that break everything, right? So just being able to control it and being able to modify it. Just keep in mind what you need to do is mimic the header and footer. So you got to get good at pretty much when you see a website, being able to say, okay, I know how to make a custom header and a custom footer to match the rest of the website. So that way, I personally like to keep it so that the landing pages that we're making with Magic Page or with any other tool, that it matches the overall look and feel of the other website. So you're looking at like fonts, you're looking at colors, all of that kind of stuff, and making it all match up. But I think, Simon, what you were saying is spot on. Like if you're doing an international website, let's say in North America, you're doing a Canadian site and you're doing a US site, you would put maybe ca.mass.page and then us.mass.page or something like that. If you were building out, let's say, some very, very different industries, let's say you were building swimming pools, but you were also doing decks or like kitchen remodeling, right? You could break those into subdomains and then really build up the authority on that subdomain on that topic. And I think that's the power of having subdomains. If they're very, very different of a topic, I would break them up into different subdomains. But I think you really outlined that very well, Simon.
Good, and that's what I've done actually. So I'm glad that you could go over that, because I've gone for GB, CA, US, NZ, and that's the implementation. So that's good.
And so last week, go ahead, Stephen.
Sorry, so I was going to say, if you build a site with multiple folders in with WordPress installs, make sure that you do more than one main domain. If you put all your eggs in one basket and that main master domain name gets damaged in some way, that's all your sub ones going down the pan as well. So if you own mydomain.com and you own yourdomain.com and hello.com or something like that, use multiple domain names. There's no harm in doing subfolders in them. But just make sure that you have more than one site running in different locations. If one goes down, the others still keep generating you an income.
Also, one other little power tip that we use with our agency is sometimes we can do a CNAME, which is basically an entry on the company's DNS. DNS is just like a record that tells the internet where to point everything. If you do a CNAME to a subdirectory and point it to your hosting, and if you properly set up your hosting, you can control all of the hosting for that subdomain as well. So you can do it as a service on a monthly basis. Okay, so it totally is in your control of all the sites and how you expand them out and all that kind of thing. So that's just a Magic Page as a service or Mass Page as a service. You could do that for folks especially if you control the entire stack and the hosting as well. So
yeah, if it's on the subdomain, obviously you can control the hosting absolutely completely, aren't you? As you say, you just put a CNAME. I did mine with an A recorder. You control the hosting; it's completely separate. Obviously, if it's a subdirectory, your client could still, if they own the hosting, they could still get into PHP MyAdmin and hack it, couldn't they? And get a username and password to get into it. They're probably not going to do that because they're not probably like.
Yeah, I mean, they could always clone the site, but they don't have sort of the back end, right?
No.
So to make modifications and things like that. But I mean, they can clone it as an HTML site and just kind of throw it up into a website or a directory or something like that.
I think standalone's a good model, though, isn't it? I would worry. I would think very much twice before putting Namebrite directly on a client site, because then if something goes wrong, you never quite know, and they're always likely to blame you, aren't they? They're going to come to you first, say your Magic Page plugin's broken my site, and it could be something completely different. So standalone for clients is definitely the way to go, I would say. Yeah,
it's a little more tricky to do, but it just gives you that added service that you're providing for someone. And so I think it's always good because you're dealing with the technical side more than just the content, but if something goes wrong, or a version of Magic Page, or some plugin starts conflicting, well, that's on you, and you can get in there and fix it. Well, I'll tell you, as someone that has done digital marketing for a long time, when you deal with a customer that hasn't given you full access to work on their site, they've only given you like editor access or something like that to your login. When something goes wrong and you don't have access to the entire server, you don't have full FTP access, it's very frustrating because they want you to fix something, but nobody knows the passwords to anything because they never gave it to you. And so that's something to keep in mind, is when it's in your stack, you control it and you know the passwords to everything. So Simon, last week you were talking about a GMB course, and we were talking off air. You have that going, and how's that going?
Yeah, I mentioned just earlier, I'm moving my course platform at the moment, and I am doing a new. What's triggered that is I'm doing a new GMB course. I was talking about it a bit last week, and I've got the first session tomorrow night at 8 o'clock UK time, British summer time. Obviously, different time zones around the world, but it's on tomorrow night. So it's basically a walkthrough of the course. There's over 15 lessons on how to optimize and manage GMB listings, not just for yourself, but also if you wanted to promote it as a client service as well. So it's going to be going through all the stuff that I do on the GMBs that I manage, and that includes local businesses and franchises and whatever else. So if you want to know a bit more about GMB optimization and some of the stuff you can do there, some of the tricks and whatever else, I've got them in my course. It's tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, and I'll run regular sessions. There's going to be another session in a couple of weeks, but that's my update on that. I've got a link.
Awesome.
If we can show that later on. If people
you can go show it now if you have
it. Here we go.
We'll show it at the end too if you want.
So there's more information about that. It's my new Google My Business course, landing.simonhogben.com/GMB, and there's more information about that. First session's tomorrow night if you want to join us. It will be recorded, and there'll be a catch-up session for anybody that can't do tomorrow night within a couple of weeks or range dates. Okay, thank you.
Awesome. So Stephen, did you want to go with your presentation, or you want me to go?
No, I'm happy to go. Just before that, I noticed that Stephen P asked for any actual videos on this. I know he's talking about adding the subfolder with WordPress in. So I'll share my screen again, and hopefully this will come up with mine. Yeah. So within the hosting that I supply on Leadgenmagic, you can very simply hop into the hosting panel. And there's going to be other hosts that are available. I'm not sure if Daryl's one does this. He can advise me in a moment. But let's just go and manage the this domain name I got here. If I want to install now on this version, this isn't Linux, so I can't show you on here. I thought I could. I will find a version in a bit, and I'll come back to it where I thought I had a Linux version on there. On Linux, you can just simply click a folder and reinstall WordPress in a subfolder. But let me just show you the SEO part of and explain Magic Page. People get confused with Magic Page plugin, which is Mike Martin's product. And so in layman's terms, you have what's called xfields. And on here, I've created 2 xfields already, one with a phone number, and I've mentioned Simon in it. I thought it'd be nice and mention Simon. So when you create these xfields, you can name them whatever you want. Now with Daryl's Magic Form, there are a bunch of xfields already made in his that are available in his Facebook group that you can come in and add to here, and then use his magic form. You fill the magic form in, and if you generate one of these sites once and save it as a generic site, you have all the xfield already in here. So I've already done xfield phone. If I just wanted, I'll put time on the next one for an example, and I'll go 10 p.m. and I'll click save. Anywhere where I'm going to place these on the site now, if I update the page and save this, anywhere where I place these on a web page now, they're going to appear. So if I now copy the phone one and I come over to the Elementor install of this site, and we just click add new. I don't want to do that way. That's it. New section in Elementor, and click plus. And I'm just going to drag in a text box, and I'm just going to clear out the Lorem Ipsum, and I'm going to put xfield phone in there. If I update this now and I view the page, anywhere where there's this placed on the site, and this is site wide, it will show the phone number instead. So let's go and view the page. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is the phone number in here. So you then, let's say you've built a site out with all the xfields in, and you want to clone it to a new domain name, and you want to change the details. You simply hit edit, and we'll just change the phone number to all zeros, and click save, and we'll do update. And then we're going to come back to the main page. Once it's done it, hopefully it's not cached, and hopefully it will change. There we go, to zeros. So with Daryl's form, this has, you fill the visual form in top to bottom. And I'm sure I'm going to put Daryl on the spot. I'm going to say maybe next week, Daryl, we'll get you to re-demo your form because it's been a while. And you literally go from top to bottom, filling the form in, and use the xfields across your chosen site. And then that site becomes evergreen. And evergreen means you can back it up, clone it to multiple domain names, and then use Daryl's form to fill in all the data. And also his form will resize images, which you can put onto your site. There's a ton of things the form can do. I don't do it justice talking about it. But I wanted to come across to SEO. And what's cool about the SEO part on the new Magic Page now is it has this box on all the pages. So what we can do is we can actually go, we've got one called company name. So I'm going to copy the company name one on there. I'm going to paste this in here. So you could have company name in, and there's an xfield already made. And I know Daryl has an xfield in his form as well for location. But this is the standard location one. And so in very simple terms, you can add all this content in. You can also spin within these. So we can do spin text, which is the curvy bracket. Let's grab a curvy bracket, and I can put a pipe, which is the long line, and I can put near. So each time it generates a page, it's going to go xfield company in location, xfield company near location. And then we can do the same with a meta description. We can do a long meta description and spin it all in there. And the meta keywords, we can do the same again and spin them in there and click save. And every time it generates a page, it will automatically put this content in there. You need to do it on the standard pages of your site, your home page, your About Us page, Contact Us page, and also this is the Magic page where you also need to do it. Always remember, hit update. I've already added a location in here. I always use the Isle of Man as a demo because it loads quicker with 90 locations. And then when the Magic page is running smoothly, you will then generate the pages. And I'm not going to go into that now because I want to make sure that I get notification from the guys at Magic Page that they've resolved the link between Elementor and Magic Page, which is being resolved. But you generate, at first, I'd say a couple hundred pages. Don't go mad. Just build a couple hundred pages out. So you'd build out your Magic Page with all the content on, nice images, top to bottom. You make the page look really nice, and then you'd add the location. So there's the location shortcode in there. And then you'd add the phone number, and it does. Magic Page does so much more, but this is just sort of the basics to explain to people what it does. And then, like I said, the link from this to Dale's form is you can have a form with the content saved. And the cool thing about the form is once you filled it all in and then pulled it out into Magic Page and put the xfields across your site, you can go back to that form, and you can then go and change one little part of it. And save it again and export it back into another Magic Page install. As long as you've got the layout the same with the xfields, it works every time. And imagine putting xfields on every single page of your website. How quickly could you build a site? And that is the cool thing about this. And automatic SEO with xfields and spun content. This is just really touching the surface of what Magic Page and multi-sites can do. And the cool thing I love about Magic Page is the fact that you can build multiple locations in your local area, and they get found by the search engines, and it's really bums on seats. It's a bit like people going to a cinema, that they want as many people in there sitting down and taking attention onto the film. And it's likewise with these multi-page sites. If you live in a certain location, let's say New York and all the suburbs around it, they will come up with the suburbs at the top here once you've installed the Magic Page database. So every time someone searches, they'll find a page for Baldwin and New York, or wherever you may live in your local area. And then if you build that site once and put it properly, you can move it to another location again, rebrand it to be for that location, and boom, away you go. And this is what myself and Rob have been working on, ready, done for you sites with all the spun content already in them, ready to roll, and just use Dale's Magic Form to update the main company name, phone number, web form, and social medias, and boom, you're done.
Couldn't say it better myself there, Stephen. Thank you. For a lot of times we talk about a lot of different things on the Sunday broadcast that we do, but we a lot of times should probably just go back to what the form does and how it interacts with building a web page. I have a lot of content on our YouTube channel that goes through different walkthroughs. If you just search our YouTube channel for walkthrough or demo of Magic Page or Mass Page form, it'll help you through that whole knowledge base that you need. But we do have some new webinars coming up where we're going to do a full walkthrough again because we've added so much more with Siphon. And we're going to have a few new features that are going to be coming that are just knock your socks off. We're in the process of making our form more compatible with various, different platforms we would like to integrate with. So just making some little changes, taking some time to do that. So after that's done, we'll be, of course, doing some more webinars on that. And I'm also waiting for a couple things to settle on Magic Page plugin to do the advanced training that we booked people in for. So that will be coming. I promise I will have something unique and different on that training that we don't talk about on every Sunday and every webinar. It'll be some things I've been kind of holding on to just for a very special training. So those that have registered for that training, it is coming, and we'll have it. Everyone that got registered will get an invite to it. So we'll have a replay for you as well.
Daryl,
right.
if someone wants to find out more about your webinar that you're going to do on the form and Siphon, if they've not already signed up for one of your lists, how do they do that?
Yeah, they can always message me on Facebook, Daryl Thomas Ledyard, or just go to the, let me share my screen here. I'll tell you a great way to, let's see if I get this right here. See if I got the right screen. Okay. If you're on Mass Page, that's MASS.page. In the lower right-hand corner, there's a messenger link that you can go ahead and click on and just start a chat. and it'll hit my my device, and we can have a conversation. Or you can go ahead and contact us by going to support@mass.page, support@mass.page, and we can always help you out. But we will announce in our Facebook group when that next webinar will be coming up, so that you'll have a chance to get in on that. All right. So yeah. So if you have any questions about what is MassPage and a little demo, all of that is available on the homepage of mass.page. We keep it really simple on here. Here's a demo walkthrough from December. Most of the things are the same as that, and then we have a little video about the all new Siphon. This is getting updated because we've changed Siphon around for that, and I'll actually show that because last week we had sort of a Father's Day, we had a little bit less people, so I should probably show how Siphon is working now. The only thing that stopped working is Word AI went and changed their API. So we're trying to implement it, or we'll have to do something else. But Spin Rewriter doesn't do what we're looking to do, but we could do Spin Rewriter if everybody brings their own API key. But what we're doing with Word AI, there's some good things with Word AI with the new 5.0. The rewriter is very interesting. It does some good work. But the thing is the number of credits that we would go through with the launch of Siphon AI might not make it possible to make that be how we paraphrase. So the paraphrasing that we're building is our own, so we can offer a more unlimited access to it. Nothing's totally unlimited, but it'll be better. So if you're looking at the Siphon AI beta, if you're an enterprise level member inside of here, you click on this and you'll see the Siphon AI beta. If you want to sign up for Siphon AI's launch, if you go to https:// oops, I did this wrong. It would be go.ht/Siphon AI. So let's see if I can get that in the. There's a little form on there for Google form, and you just put in your information in here, and we'll. You're not obligated. It just puts you on the list to get access to it when it comes out. We're slated for July 9th. But we're working our butts off to try to make that happen. But if we have to move it back a little bit, it won't be much more after that point.
Darryl, is that the link there? I think we have it stored. Is that the link on the screen?
That's perfect. Yeah,
perfect.
Thank you for doing that. Yeah,
no worries.
Go.ht/Siphon AI if you're interested in seeing it. But I'll just demo it real quick here. So you've got 3 different tools here. You can either paste text in here, or you can do URLs. So you can do like up to 15 URLs, and it'll scrape the information. You can hit paraphrase or summarize and paraphrase. And I think the summarizer is not fully working. We're still working on the back end on that, but the paraphrasing does work good, and the generate questions works good. So if you were to put in, let's say, plumbers as the keyword, okay, and we hit generate questions, you would have all these different questions that you can pick from. So we're expanding this out, so we'll have like LSIs, long tail keywords and stuff, and you'll be able to also get additional questions. So the next level of this will give you a lot of different content, and you'll be really excited about what we're doing with this once this gets implemented fully. So let's see. Does plumber? Let's grab something here. How often do plumbers work? I don't know. We'll grab that. We'll hit search.
Some are 24-hour, aren't they? Emergency
plumbers.
Yeah.
But this is giving you some ideas. Maybe you wouldn't have thought of that question. So it's going ahead and scraping this content from these sites, and then we will go ahead and paraphrase it. So this right now. It's going to do both at the same time here. So that's taking a minute. There we go. So here you go. Here's some content. And this is the link that it came from. And so you can, what do plumbers do? And it answers the question here. And because it's paraphrased, you can reuse it, or you'll be able to add spin text to it. Right now, I think if you hit spin text, it doesn't work because they broke the API on us without telling us, by the way. It just made a big change and didn't tell anybody that was using it. So I was pretty frustrated about that. But that's Siphon. If you put in the bulk URLs, it'll go ahead and do that. But a lot of different features are coming to this top portion here, and also the bottom portion. We're adding a lot of different features in the coming weeks, and we'll keep you up to date as we keep adding those in. And they're tested, and we'll release them or show them from the staging, and then release them to you guys. All right. So and back to what, just to quickly show you a form. This is the magic form that Stephen was just talking about, that this information here would get submitted to Magic Page plugin. And all of this stuff would create xfields and in stuff that you can use on your actual web page. Okay, so there's a lot to this. There's tokens that you can use. There's images that get resized, and the metadata gets put into them. There's the GMB scraping. There's schema scraping. There's description metadata that comes in as well. We even have Siphon built in to the form. And we'll have more features for this coming soon. So yeah, the form is really got a lot to it. And we're going to add more and try to make it more simplified to use as well. So you'll be able to really get some good information in here, do it once, and then make a few changes, and you have a totally new website. You can also send it to a client to have them fill out as well, which is easy to do as long as you have the agency plan and above. It's real easy. If you want to just clone a form, you can do that. All right. And yeah, so we'll go through this with a full webinar soon, and we'll go through all of this and show it to you step by step so you can answer questions. Okay. So what
I was going to say, Dan, one of the features I love is the client form. And I hope you're going to show that on the webinar, because with the client form, it's pretty much send the client the form. They fill most of it in for you, and it comes back, and then you finish doing the design, so any bits they can't fill in, you then fill it in. But it's almost like the client building the site for you. I think that's a super cool feature.
Yeah, we're going to extend this eventually here so that if you're not building a mass page and you're just having the client build, just a basic website, they'll be able to fill in a more simplified form. And so we're going to adjust this so that the form changes depending on if you're using Stephen's templates or you're just building a basic website. You just select what kind of a magic form you want, and it'll change everything in the form below. So it only has the things that are pertinent to that project. All right. So we'll make this more useful for more and more people as time goes on. But the people that are in the community right now are benefiting from this form and saving them time. So, all right. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is getting domains. And so I'll show you a couple of tricks that we use to get some good domains, because on our Sunday shows, we always give you a chance to win a domain. And yeah, so we'll do that again today. We'll give you a chance to win a domain at the end of the presentation here. I sell domains online. If you go to go.ht/domains, you can see some of the inventory. It's some of them. We don't have all of them on there, but some of the domains that we sell are on there, go.ht/domains. But what I want to show you is everybody needs domains. If you're building projects or you're building lead gen sites, you're going to need domains. And I've always been of the feeling that you, just like if you're building houses or businesses, it'd be good to have some inventory of lumber and nails and things like that instead of having to go buy them every single time you are building a building. Well, I think it's good to have some domains on the go, ready to go when you have some time and you can build some things. Because what I find is people that are trying to get a good domain immediately, they don't find them because they didn't take the time to go find them when they had some extra time on their hands. It should be an ongoing process. If you're in a specific niche and if you're serious about lead generation, to be constantly checking for domains that you can pick up that either have traffic, have great backlinks, or brandable, that kind of thing. So all of the above. So the obvious is to go to expireddomains.net. And with here, you'll sign up for a free account. And you have this interface here, okay? So you have deleted.com domains, .net, .org, .info, and then you got deleted domains of all kinds. So it makes them all together. If you're looking for, a .io, you can go here and just look for .io domains. Let's see, here's the deleted.io domains, okay? And you can see, I'll just expand this a little bit. You can see the .io domains, okay? So one of the things that you'll want to do is my columns here are different than what your columns will be, okay? Because you've got to set up what your columns are going to be. So if you go over to the column manager over here, you have all of these possibilities on the left side. So as you click on the word, you have different things that you can add in your columns, and they're very easy to sort by, okay? And Majestic Trust Flow on topic is a good one, TTF. So I use that. This one right here, USA Monthly Searches, SUS. I use that a lot to determine things. Reg, TLDs registered. This means how many other domains are registered with that keyword, okay? So if you have a .com, and let's say 40 other TLDs, .org, and so on and so forth, are registered, and you found a .com, there's a good chance you'll be able to sell that .com to somebody that has a .biz or something like that, okay? So there's a lot of opportunities for you here if you have some time to go through and find some things. And so when these come through, you'll see on the time that it came through. And so you get really good at using this filter right here, okay? And like typically I'll just go for like the last 12 hours, the last 24 hours, right? And I'll click on available domains down in the lower right corner. Some people like to use the English words or different words. You can do that. I always click on this here, only characters, and I typically put like 18 here for the length, okay? And I'll apply the filter. That'll take 22.5 million and bring it down to 47,000, okay? And so now you can go and sort by the shortest. So the shortest is 5 characters, and you can see these don't make any sense, right? There's no words. But if you were looking for an English word, you click on English, maybe from 1 to 2 words, and you hit apply filter, and you can now find 8,800 domains that have up to 2 words in it, okay? So now if you go over here to Trust Flow and you click on this, you can see these all have topical trust flow according to Majestic. So it's already built in. This is a free tool and it's already built in, okay? So you can see these only have 1, not very high, but if you go in and just click on TF, all right, you'll see this one has a 19 TF, okay? And then if you roll over it, you can see that the topic is recreation food, Okay, so if you're building like a PBN or you're building something like that, you could maybe use that, but you'd have to take a look at the backlinks and make sure that it's okay. Okay, here's one called Delivery Coop. So if you're building a delivery app or something, that could be something helpful, right? You can hit the Wayback Machine, WBY, and you can go after how, your oldest domains. This one goes back to 2000, right? So, get into this and play around a bit, and you'll kind of get to see which of these columns you want. Like this one's a good one. It has SEMrush's traffic, so you can see how much traffic this website is getting. Atomic Plug is already getting traffic, so you could buy this and have some traffic already coming into you. All right, so these are really powerful things in order to get expired domains that might already have something that could be useful for you. Okay, I use filters a lot, and this is where you need to have like a keyword list of some kind of your favorite thing. So like if I'm looking for something for price quotes, I'll put like prices here. All right, and then I'll hit search, and there's nothing that came up. Let's put in quote, and we'll end with quote. And so there's some quotes, but there's no niches there or anything like that. Okay, so you basically find the things that you would want, and like maybe it was SEO, and you're building an SEO site, right? You just put it in contains, and you'll see that this kind of comes together. And we only have it on English words, so it's going to sort out once they have English words. If you got rid of that, you might have some different spellables. So this is the expired domains method. But I want to also show you another way to get domains and empower you as well. And how to get some perhaps brandable domains that are not on here that might surprise you. So for that, we're going to use a site called Namebrite.com and the bulk checker on here. So Namebrite.com, and it's /bulk search. Okay, and let's put this into the chat here. Yeah, thanks, Tim, for putting that in there. And we'll put this into the Facebook group as well. Let's see. Anyway, this is a great tool because it'll do up to 5,000 all at once. Okay, and so what I wanted to point out is this. I'm going to put this in our Facebook group here. Let's see here. I'm going to put this under the comment here on this page, and we'll spruce this up a little bit. But this is top 5,000 most common domain prefix and suffix list. Okay, it was just updated a few days ago. It's on GitHub. Okay, and you can download this list and you can search and clean it up. So right now they have a plus sign for the suffix and a plus sign coming after the prefix. So all I did is I brought it in and I cleaned it up, and I got rid of the plus signs, and I put one in here called prefix domains, and there is 2,643 words there. And then under suffix, I have 2,357 on here. Okay, many of them won't interest you, maybe not, but you'll be able to go with that. And then I kind of have another list here, and this is my niche/keyword list. Okay, this is different keywords that I would like to mix up with these prefixes and these postfixes. Okay, all right. So we're building a tool that I can't talk to you about at this time. Stephen knows what it is, but we're building a tool that helps to really take this to the next level. But I'm going to show you how to do it now with Namebrite, and then then you can do what you want. So we're going to take this down to like coffee here. We're going to take 101 keywords, right? And I'm going to go into textshaker.com. Okay. So it's textshaker.com, and we'll get another link to that in a second. My clipboard's full. So, all right. So into textshaker.com, all right, you would then put in the words, and then you'd say, let's say directory. So you'll have your master list, your favorite niches, your favorite whatever, right? And you just put in .com, and you add a suffix to it. So now all of these keywords are there, and then a directory is there. Say you're building a directory, right? And you're going to go to the Namebrite, and you're going to paste it in there, okay? I'm going to go back, and I'm going to hit undo, and I'm going to put, instead of directory, I'm going to put prices.com, okay? And I'm going to select all, copy, go into Namebrite, and I'm going to hit that and drop it in there. All right. Now I'm going to go back here. I'm going to hit undo. I'm going to hit, instead of prices, I'm going to put quotes. Somebody's going to find a domain because of this tonight. All right. So we're going to copy, paste this in here, and paste. All right. Now, a lot of these things don't make sense. We're just going to hit search, and we're going to let it do its thing. All right, and we're only doing 300 domains. So when you bring this back, you will see these come up. Okay, so you go down here and you select more. You will do 5,000, and you can export the data. Okay, right here. So let's take a look at what we got here. So we got cleanup quotes. Now that could be a website for restoration services, right? .com, that's available. Bookkeeping prices, I don't know. Let's see here. Let's see, coaching prices, asbestos prices, cleanup prices, yeah. Awning directory. There's a great idea. Just people that install awnings, right? You get a directory of people for that. And so anyway, you could go down through this whole thing, or what you could do, and I'll show you another little trick here, is you'll export these. And now I've created a whole bunch more competition for me because it's okay. I can't have every domain. So, all right. So once this comes through, we're going to grab these domains here, and I'll show you another service that's pretty helpful called Estibot. I don't know if I spelled that right. All right, and we'll go into, they have a tool in here for bulk appraisals. And let's see if I can do a bulk appraising here. We'll take all of those domains. We'll hit appraise. Anybody have questions so far? Thanks for putting that down.
No, this is looking really good.
Yeah. So what we're looking for is Estibot saying something's worth quite a lot, and we'll sort by that. You know, anything appliance prices. Okay, that's interesting. And so it's got, let's do more here. So these are the appraisals, and it tells you how many CPCs and all that. So you can export this, and we'll import this as a Excel. And let's see here, appraised value. So we're going to go ahead to your data here, and we're going to filter greater than 100. All right. So these are the ones that Estibot says has some life to them. So let me just grow into them. Boardprices.com, bondsdirectory.com, bookkeeping prices. You guys can see these. Asbestos directory. That's interesting. Agency prices, asphalt prices. I don't know. But you get the idea. You can use whatever kind of terms you want with that text shaker, and you can keep doing this, rinse and repeat until you find something that has a good value. This one says it's 1,100 bath prices. Okay. So, and you can also look at how much search traffic they get. So let's search results, ads. You can see which one has the most ads. Okay, appliance prices has a lot of ads. That's a good indicator. Asphalt prices. So you can see, the different factors that come from Estibot. So I'm not sure how much Estibot is, but I do pay for that on a monthly basis, or I paid for the year or something like that. But it's a nice way to be able to take from a tool like Namebrite and do some bulk searches. And it's pretty fast. So just want to show that off to you guys today because a lot of people see the domains that we come up with and like, how do you come up with all these domains? It's because we're not looking when we need them. We look before we need them. And when you have the domains ready to go, you can build what you want when you want because you've already done the hard work, weeks and months before. So that's where I'm coming from, and hopefully that was helpful to you guys.
No, great information there, Daryl, because there's a lot of people in the group, and that's why earlier on I explained the basics of Magic Page plugin. There's a lot of people in the group that don't always understand these things, and it's always useful for them to understand where they're going with it. While I'm talking, by the way, pop your names in the chat for the domain giveaway, because I know we get to a point at 11 o'clock, and some people have to disappear off various reasons. So, put your name in the chat, and then Darryl will start putting that together in a moment. But to have a way of getting those domain names, the amount of times I've trawled expireddomains.com and for various domain names and spent ages, and I'm super excited. I can't give away what Daryl's working on, but it's going to save hours of your time. That's all I'm going to say when it gets released. It's super exciting the direction everything's going in at the moment.
Yeah, it's just more of a tool for myself that I'm going to offer to other people to take a look at. But here's another site. It's called nameworth.com. And if you go ahead and we go back to this list here that we had, and we go to nameworth.com, that's another site that if you take and check some of the domains that we give away on this show, are worth over $5,000 according to these guys. So we're going to go ahead and see if any of these on nameworth.com are worth a lot. And go ahead and start putting your names in the wheel of names. We're going to start putting them together here, but I just wanted to show you guys that there's a lot of these appraisals that are out there. And see, these are tier 4s. That's not very good. Here's a tier 3, which is okay. I go for like tier 2s wherever I can. If something's a tier 2 or tier 1, I would look at it. So alley prices, alley directory.
For anyone new to the group, Darryl, do you want to explain the difference between tier 1 and tier 2?
It's just the pricing value of a domain. So yep. If a domain is a super premium, it's worth more. And so I like to, because these guys are a little bit too generous, but here's Bonds Directory. It thinks it's a super premium, $14,000. You think of bail bonds. I don't know if you use that term over there, but bail bonds is a big deal. And so having bail bonds in a directory could be a great website. So if somebody wants that domain, go ahead and get it. And so, yeah. All right, so let's get the wheel of names going here, and we'll show you what domains are up for grabs this week. Let me just go through the list. Do you want to see George?
Yeah. Don.
Done.
We got Mike D.
Okay.
Paul P. Matthew. And we got Tim Judge. If there's anyone else in the group, pop your name in now for your chance to win a domain name. It's you got to be in it to win it.
Matthew, Tim Judge, spin it. He said, "Yeah, let's go. Let's show you guys what we're giving away today."
There you go. Look, the best 2 minutes of Sunday, the Wheel of Domains from Don.
All right, so let's see.
We got to add. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, but is it Erdal and Terry?
Okay. Terry and
Erdal.
Okay. And we'll also, I'm trying to see why my overlay's not working here. That's interesting. Oh, I got to stop sharing. That's why. Let's see.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Now, while Daryl's sussing that out, something else that's always helpful to us guys is there's various people in Magic Page who like to build mass pages. There's people in all our groups. If there's something that you want us to show you one week, please pop it in the chat. It's always useful to know what direction you guys need. Now, we're not here to do support. We're not here to give you full direction with your business or site. If you want that, you can reach out to any of us, and we have our own mentoring plans for that purpose, where you can get your one-on-one training from us. But ultimately, if there's something, SEO-wise you're not sure about, or something with Magic Page, just pop it in the chat to us. Let us know, because one of us will come up with something that can be related to it on one of the weeks, which might help you in your business. We've been doing this long enough to know the pitfalls, the ups and downs in our businesses in what we've been doing. So please let us know if there's something you're not sure about. Pop it in the chat. Always happy to put something together for you. Did you fix it, Daryl?
Not yet. It's funny. I think it's because it had parentheses in the file name, and StreamYard might not have liked that. So let's see if this will work now. I do apologize for the domain, because of course this is the funnest part. Can you go ahead and click on the brand and then overlay, and then click on the win a domain and see if it'll work for you, Stephen?
On what we do on the
the side where it says brand, and then go down to overlay. Oh, there it is. Did you do that?
No, I was about to. I went in.
Oh, okay. I was able to do it. Okay. So these are the domains for today. Shopbuy.com, mykindofprices.com, okdoke.com, and fairprices.com. And let's just go and show you guys the name worth on these. Let's just show you so you guys can see how this works. If you guys wanted to do this next time we do this yourselves, name worth, I think, allows you to do some free checks. And
did you want to share your screen again in a minute, Daryl?
Yeah, let's do that. Bulk upload. So I'm just going to put them in here.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Simon? You've been quiet. Did you fall asleep on us?
He's been enjoying what
No,
we've been
I'm still awake.
about.
It's been a long day, fella. I'm my kind of prices. I quite like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
My kind of prices.
Well, they're all very brandable, aren't they? So I mean, any of those you could put something together with. But yeah, my kind of prices. That's kind of.
So what? And Shopify is great. I mean, there's Shopify. Is it Shopify? So Shopify. That's super cool.
So I'm going to put this on the share, and I want to show you guys, because I'm going to not want to give one of these away once I show you this. Watch. Are you ready? So this is in name worth. Again, they're a little bit generous sometimes, so you have to keep that along your interest here. But look at fairprices.com is worth $24,500 according to Nameworth.
Simon, should we do a backhander? Right?
Yeah,
And
it's already done. Yeah.
Have the wheel go around with Simon and Steve on it.
Spin the special wheel. Yeah, bring that one out. Yeah.
And shop buy is worth $14,500.
Wow.
And Okie Doke is worth $2,450. That's according to Nameworth. I use several appraisal tools together, and then I sort of make an average for them. So if we look at Estibot at fair prices, let's take a look here. Oh, I did fair price. I got to do fair prices.
Don is saying not Stephen and not Simon.
Oh wait, I put far prices. I can't.
He also says not just the funnest, but the best dang 2 minutes of any given Sunday.
Fair prices.
While Dale's typing it in, Mike, I love your comment. How to do images and tags, and are they needed? So I know, maybe next week if Dale's got the time, he might do a quick run through of his form, and in there, his form actually generates all the image tags, which is rather clever.
Yeah, Vivek is here too. That gave us a chance to get somebody else in here. Vivek's a good guy. So, all right. So we're ready to spin it. What do you guys say?
Spin.
Spin.
All right, we're spinning the wheel. Let's see what happens here. Looks like Paul is gonna get to pick. I think Paul has won recently, so congratulations, Paul. Thank you for hanging in here with us today and listen to us gab. We'll go ahead and once again show you the domains that are up for grabs. And you go ahead and let us know which one you would like to take home to your registrar today. All right. Steve Dimmick said, did I win? I think, do we even have Steve Dimmick on the list?
I didn't see his name written down on.
Didn't see the name come up, no. I don't know if it's a late entrance or not. I think the answer is no, but yeah.
Unless his name is Paul Power. I don't know. Congrats, Paul. Tell us which letter you want, A, B, C, or D. And you can tell other people if you are watching this on a replay, tell other people to join us, and we'll maybe get a domain in your hands. A lot of these folks have won domains before, so they can tell you firsthand that we definitely do what we say we're going to do. So Paul says A for shop by.
Great domain name, Paul.
So you got that domain, and congratulations. Just reach out to me. You have 2 weeks to claim it. Just let me know, and we'll get everything sent over to you.
Yeah.
But you got to reach out to me, or if I reach out to you, we have to solidify the transfer. It doesn't cost you anything to transfer. These are, I think, all with GoDaddy. So I can push it directly from GoDaddy, or I can give you the auth code, and you can import it into other like Namecheap and things like that. So
just make sure you claim it within 2 weeks. Otherwise, it gets put back in the pool.
Yepper. All right. Yeah. So I guess it's time. Do we have enough time for a few questions? And we can take
why not?
Comments?
Yeah, do some questions. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
All right. I haven't put the invite link together yet, so we'll do that. And if you guys want to ask some questions, go put it into the chat, or get ready for our link that we're going to have for you to join us here.
Is it the normal one guest, Daryl? Because we've got that loaded up. If you want to, is that the one?
Yep. Go.ht/guest. I'm just working on the link, so
don't go to it yet, because it won't work.
Oh, okay.
It'll be last week's.
But while Dale pops in, I loved all the things you touched on, Simon, and the fact that doing when you're working on, especially on a client site, I think doing a subfolder with Magic Page in, and even if you haven't got Magic Page and you're thinking of doing multiple pages manually, which is the hard way of doing it, is always set up a subfolder domain. WordPress installed in a subfolder, and I think that's a great way. That way, then you're controlling that, And also something else I found is a client site. I went to one client site. He had 21 plugins, which half he didn't need, but he really wanted them. And then my wife said he wanted to keep them. And that was slowing his site down. Now, with the sub pages in a subfolder with a fresh WordPress install, those pages were boom, 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 boom. So the search engines are happy with those pages anyway as a subdirectory, and you can sort of leave the customer site well alone. But all you need is FTP access to put WordPress in if you're with a host that doesn't let you do further installs. And there are videos on YouTube on how to do that. And like I said, the hosting I supply, you can just click a button and it installs there. But there's a special way of installing it, which if people want that, they can reach out.
So we have the guest line open, go.ht/guest, go.ht/guest, or put your questions inside the comment box. If you have not already liked, subscribed, all of that good stuff, we appreciate the like from Paul Power and Divin Laxman. Anybody else that wants to like our video on Facebook or on YouTube, we would really appreciate that. It helps us get noticed with the algorithm, and it always is a very helpful thing. So anybody, we have a few more minutes before we wrap. If you have to jump in with us, ask us a question that maybe we can help you with, that would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, we will wrap for the weekend.
Yeah.
So once again, let's.
I just just while people are coming on, Daryl, just something that Stephen just mentioned. I guess you'd also have to submit a second sitemap, wouldn't you? Because if you have a second WordPress install, you'd want to submit another sitemap to cover that.
I'll tell you why I do there. I mean, you can submit a separate sitemap. What I do, I'll create a sitemap on the second install, grab all the URLs and just add them to the main sitemap, and then let Google trawl that sitemap, which is the quickest way. Combine them into one. There's also some sites, and maybe one of you guys might know it. Where is it? Spider or something? I can't remember what it's called. Where we can trawl your site for all the
Screaming
URLs.
Frog, yeah.
Screaming Frog. I couldn't. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Screaming Spider. Yeah, Screaming Frog.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
If you guys are interested in joining the wait list for Siphon AI, on your screen you'll see go.ht/Siphon AI. And if you're looking for Simon's GMB course, right?
Yeah, mini course tomorrow, and a 2-hour session and mini course online training materials. That's something, that's on the link.
Awesome. Yeah. If you want to join Stephen's Facebook group, just search for SEO and lead gen.
Yeah.
And if you want my group, it's /mass page. And Simon, you have a group. What is that called? Something Heroes.
Local SEO Heroes. We've had a bit of a rebrand recently. So if you go to Local SEO Heroes, it links through to the Facebook group. So Hero to Zero on GMBs and Local SEO. So that's where I am.
There you go. All right. Well, I think we don't have any more questions. Do you think we should wrap?
It's nice, easy week, because when you guys don't pop on, it means you haven't really got any questions. Mike, I noticed you have a question, and us guys will have a chat about that and put something together in the coming weeks. And I talk to you directly, Mike. So there's a lot of things with this, with setting up a mass website. And there's the SEO part. For those guys who are asking, he asked, how do you post to WordPress for SEO? And there is a sensible way of doing that. And next week I can address that and go through some bits and pieces that I do. But it's building your sites gradually. Don't rush all of this in one hit. Don't go building a 1,000-page website because your domain name will get damaged. Always think, if I was to set up a new local business myself, whether that's a plumber, electrician, whatever it may be, how would I set that business up, and how would I build a website for it, and how would Google see that being built gradually? And those are the questions you always need to ask yourself, and build your site as a proper local business. Don't think, I'm building a lead gen site. Yes, you are, but you've got to think on the point of view of the outsider looking in on the site. And how that is looked at looked upon as far as Google's concerned. Google's very clever. Google's got a lot of algorithms in there now, and a lot of changes come up. Also saying, as I say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Think about Bing. Think about all the other search engines that are out there that you can submit to as well. It's always worth doing that. Citations every time. I know Simon's brought up citations. You build your site, you do your citations, and I always say, do your GMB last of all. And when you make your GMB, set your GMB up, you build it once, and you don't change the name, address, or phone number on it again. Otherwise, Google will want you to re-verify. And fill in as much data as you can on it. Add images, do a few blog posts on the GMB. Get friends and family to go and put reviews up after a week or so. Just don't put hundreds of reviews up. Do 2 or 3 a week, or 1 a week, or something. Gradually build the business up. That's what I advise people.
I love it. Great advice for sure. Slow and steady wins the race, and it doesn't set off Google alarms up at Mountain View, California. And it's the way to go. So, well, we appreciate you, Don. We appreciate everyone that joins us on our Sundays here, and especially to Simon, who put in a 10-hour gig before coming to join us here today. So
I don't know how you do it, Simon.
Wouldn't miss it for the world. Well, I'm probably younger than all you guys.
You are.
I'm 29. I don't know what you're talking about.
Long paper and Tyrell.
I'm 30.
Yeah.
I tell you what. I used to go around doing discos, mobile discos, and I have fibromyalgia, so my pain was getting worse and worse. And I used to take someone around with me. Then COVID hit. And I went, you know what a great opportunity to get out of doing mobile discos now. And in fact, I used to spend 5-6 hours doing discos for £200-300. It's probably about $350-400. And it wasn't the hugest amount for 9 hours work. And I found lead generation is far easier to do. And now things are slowly reopening up. I'm getting phone calls again for discos. I'm now sending those leads on to other DJs, so I don't have to go out and do it. And I'm actually making more money than what I was being a DJ.
Yeah, that's good for you and healthier for you as well, right, Stephen?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
lead gen. I love the lead gen business. It's a clean business that you're doing what is hard for a lot of businesses doing is to find the leads, and if you're able to do that better than other people, then let the people that like to go out and do the services, and you just help make the connection between the two, and that's what it's all about. And there's a lot of people in this group that are benefiting and making a living off of this, and we just love to give you guys the tools, the resources, and the ideas to make that possible for yourselves. So, all right, well, it's terrific. It's been a great show, guys. Thank you so much, and make sure, again, you like and subscribe, and you share the knowledge to other people, and maybe put them onto what we do here on Sundays. We always looking to grow the show, and we love you guys, and I guess we'll see you next week, right?
Marvelous. Thank you as always.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah.
All right.
Take care. Bye for now.
Okay. See you guys. Bye now.